Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Sportscast brought to you by the Outspoken Network here. It's your hosts, Brian and Craig. Craig, my friend, it's been too long. What's up, bud?
How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. All right, guys, we're going to jump on here and we're going to recap week two. We're going to go through some bullet points here and then we're going to give you our top five power rankings. And I'm interested to see where your top five is after this last week, Craig, of all the craziness that happened in week two and see how much has changed because these first couple weeks they'll change quite a bit. But um, this thing's being dumb. Sorry, Facebook's being stupid. All right, there it is. All right, some bullet points we got for week two. Some takeaways from week two. Um, my number one takeaway, and I'm pretty sure most people's takeaway, is the same thing. It is upset city. we we had upsets left and right.
Any given Sunday, apparently.
Any given Sunday. Craig did win our picks, so Craig's 2-0, I'm 0-2. We had like three games that were different, and you won two, I won one of those. So you're 2-0 in there, but it was upset central. You had the Saints get this blast the Dallas Cowboys at home 44-19. You have the Bucks over the Lions 20-16, which some might not think that's an upset, but the Lions are supposed to be the better football team. You got the Raiders beat Baltimore, which the Baltimore Ravens gave up a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter to lose that one. Vikings over the 49ers, 23-17. And then the Cardinals dominated the Rams 41-10. And they finally figured out they have Harrison Jr. on their football team. And he went off, had himself a day against a pretty good Rams team. So it was upset central, definitely. I know you. I know one of your bullet points has got to be about your own team getting murdered at home. You want to go into that game a little bit?
Yeah, it kind of deja vu of the Packer game. So here's kind of what I'm not wrapping my head around. It seems to be the trouble that this team has is with teams that all these teams have one common denominator. The 49ers, the Packers, the Saints. What's the one thing they all have in common? They all run the West Coast offense. And that's funny to me that Dallas struggles because what does Dallas run under McCarthy? What do they see every day in practice?
The West Coast offense.
And you just don't show up. I mean, that was from the get go. You were never in that football game.
A shellacking.
I mean, you were never in that football game. Now, I mean, I don't, I can't remember a team that in the first two games of the season had 14 possessions and scored on all 14 of them. So maybe the Saints are for real, but
Maybe
I don't
they are.
understand how Kubiak has just reinvented the wheel over here, and he wasn't like this in Minnesota. He wasn't like this in San Francisco. I mean, well, maybe he was in San
In
Francisco. They were
Denver.
pretty good,
I mean,
but like this isn't like if you're Zimmer, this guy coached under you. You guys don't know. Apparently, he knows what you're doing. How do you not know what he's doing? Like, I don't understand. Um, again, you had guys that were just
wide
you
open.
know on the Olave pass. You know, he is with him step for step, and then Olave puts his foot in the ground, and Diggs just is like, okay, go. And I guess he expected Malik Hooker to be in the middle of the field. I don't know, but there was nobody there, and Olave is just wide open. And again, it's just like the Packers game. Here's Olave ready to get hit, and he catches it, and he's like, oh, there's nobody within 5 yards of me. Awesome, and runs around. You know, Alvin Kamara has looked like he's been in quicksand for 5 years, and he looked like Barry Sanders out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was on.
I don't understand how we let I mean, Aaron Jones did the same thing in the Packer game. And the 49ers have done this 2 years in a row where they've just absolutely curb stomped them. And I just don't understand how they're having this much trouble with an offense that they run and they see every day, at least a version of it. They can't handle. You want to beat the Dallas Cowboys? Just put motion into your offense,
Yep.
and on almost every play that the New Orleans Saints scored, there was motion involved. It's like if guys move around, it just blows their mind and they can't figure it out.
They
Um,
they
and don't look now, but you have a very desperate Ravens team coming to town that their season's on the line basically because they can't afford to go 0-3 being in that division. And so if you don't think they're going to come out and play with their hair on fire, you're wrong. So you better be ready Sunday.
yeah, you definitely better be ready. And the Cowboys have always seemed to struggle stopping the run.
For years.
For years they didn't. They drafted what's his face, Mozzie Smith, and he's
Yeah.
still a work in progress. Not really panning out the way they thought. Zimmer said he got better this off season, but I don't
He
know.
put on some weight.
They ran away from Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons also ran himself out of some plays. He was over aggressive with it. The Saints look good. Now, are the Saints the first week? I was like, well, they played the Panthers. Panthers
Carolina.
are a high school team.
Right.
Terrible.
Right.
But then they go and do this to Dallas. The question we should be asking ourselves: Are the Saints going to be? Are the Saints for real?
I mean,
they've got something working for them.
They've got something, and I mean, Derek Carr just did whatever he wanted, and so yeah, they're playing, and of course, I mean, when you're up big, you play with house money. But here's my problem: is the Dallas Cowboys are one dimensional, and everybody knows it.
Your rushing game's terrible.
It's non-existent.
And where's Cook?
To me, 100%. I was just. Why did you sign him to leave him on the practice?
Apparently, he's not playing this week.
He's not worse than anything you got. He's 100% not worse than anything you got.
Jerry Jones said today on the radio that he doesn't expect to see him this week. So when are we starting this guy? Weeks 5, 6.
I mean, I get that he missed all of camp, but when he signed, he said he was ready. So learn the playbook. A week and a half, you're in the. I mean, there's no way that he's worse than what you've got.
And if he is, then he wasn't even worth signing.
If he is, you better go find somebody because you're not going to be able to. Everybody has just basically said we're going to play nickel and dime. You're not going to run against us. And if you do run, we'll get up there and get them before they get to 3 yards because they're all like they're running in quicksand. I mean, the best run Zeke had wasn't even a run; it was a emergency shovel pass from Dak Prescott because the line folded in like a cheap tent. And that's the fastest I've ever seen Zeke run in 5 years. So I don't know where that burst came from. I mean, why don't he use that all the time? Deuce Vaughn is just tiptoeing through the hole like Cinderella.
Well, they don't use him correctly, which is weird to me. They're like, hey, here's the smallest guy, fast guy on the team. Let's have him run in between the tackles. No, bounce him outside, give him little screen passes, use him as a slot wide receiver, something.
And now, everybody knows that when they see the wide receiver, when they see either Cooks or Lamb go running in the backfield, they know it's going to be the jet sweep because that's about the only running game you have is the jet sweep. And Brandon Cooks, where's Brandon Cooks? He's been non-existent since he became a Cowboy.
I've seen him caught 1 or 2 passes, I think. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know if he got on Dak Prescott's bad side when he got there. I have no idea. But you need to utilize him because basically teams are saying we're playing nickel and dime, and we're going to put a safety over the top of Lamb, and you're going to let somebody else beat us. And there's nobody else. Tolbert, Cooks, these guys aren't it.
They're not consistent enough.
They're not.
And that was my worry.
Receiver falls down and causes an
interception.
What
was the second interception? Because I didn't see the second one.
A tip. It was another tip. I mean, it was a bad throw. It was worse than the first one, but But I mean, even Brady was like, "That's not on Dak. He threw it where it's supposed to throw, and the receiver falls down." He's like, "How do you fall down on turf?" He's
In the
like, "I
first one,
wouldn't." He's like, "I wouldn't throw that guy the rest of the day."
yeah,
Like that guy be on the
yeah.
bench, and I'm
They asked
like,
the question, "Can you go back to him?" Tom's like,
"Yeah,
"Nope, not
nope,
this game.
sure,
Mm-mm.
not today,
Not
not
today.
today,
Not happening."
nope."
Yeah, and my worry, that was my concern for Dallas, is your running back room is so
Right,
bad.
right.
You
Everybody
forced it.
knows,
It's all on Dak.
right,
And this
and
loss,
and
people. First of all, okay, I'm gonna come out here and defend your quarterback, because everyone was like, "Oh, Dak sucks." I'm like, this
yeah,
is not a Dak Prescott loss. When
no.
your defense gives up 7
The
straight
playoff
scores,
the
it's
playoff
over.
loss wasn't his. He can't put up 40 every game. It's just not going to happen.
I'm just saying, when the Saints come out and they score in 7 straight drives,
Right?
you're not winning that football game.
No. I mean,
You're
unless
not. I mean,
unless you're unless you're going to
unless
do
you,
like you did with Brady a couple years ago and
yeah,
and shoot out at the OK Corral.
or
You
Romo
know?
versus
Yeah. Peyton.
Peyton Manning, where it
Yeah.
was, but this was not on him. They got so far behind. They had to run. They had to pass the ball, and it puts him in a very hard position.
And everybody in the stadium knows you're throwing the ball because you're down
Yeah.
30. You
Especially
know?
when you have one wide
Yeah.
receiver and your
Yeah.
tight end does not playing because he's
Right.
hurt. Yeah, Saints look dominant. They beat up Dallas. I guess we'll see where they're at in the rankings. I don't know if you got them in your top 5. Bucks beat the Lions. Maybe Baker Mayfield's kind of turned himself around. This is his first year. He's had back-to-back offensive
Right.
coordinators, same system. It seems to be fitting like a glove over there. His team seems to like him. I think they love this guy, and they're
I
out to play for him.
100%. And I have felt I've never been a Baker Mayfield advocate, but because in college I just thought he was just
I loved him in college.
oh god,
He's so damn cocky though.
out there
So
grabbing his
damn cocky.
crotch and putting
Spiking flags.
flags into AstroTurf and stop, just
I loved
play
it.
football, dude.
I loved it.
And I think he had a bad draw. He had 100 different coordinators. He had 100 different coaches. He played under 100 different systems, and this guy finally got something that is consistent and that he can learn from. And he has a great relationship with Evans, Godwin. Um, they got a pretty good little running game. He seems to be accepted as the leader. Nobody's talking bad about him. Nobody's saying that he doesn't spread the ball around enough. You don't hear nothing from this locker room other than that's our guy.
They're ready to battle with him.
Yeah, and yeah, I know. I think they're gonna make a big jump this year.
Welcome, Bearski Films. He says, I think Tampa will surprise most people this year. And I think you're definitely 100% right there, Bearski Films. Paul from Bearski Films joins the show in the comments section. Thanks for listening, Paul. Yeah, you're 100% right. I think before the season, I was really high on Atlanta. I said Atlanta's going to win this division. And now I'm going, man, this is
I
Bucks
picked
division.
Tampa because I saw Mayfield last year lead of the playoffs, and I just don't. Atlanta with a new coach, I've never been a Cousins fan. Thank goodness for primetime. Kurt didn't pee on his leg last night, and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Good job. But normally he wets the bed in those situations. But I appreciate that, Kurt. But yeah, I just I think Tampa's good.
I think it's their division to win now that I see them play.
And it just the Lions. I think the head coach got a little too aggressive. Going for it on fourth down. Old Riverboat Ron Jr. over here, wanting to go for it all the time, and he even admitted after the game, he's like, I cost us that one.
Yeah.
I asked the guys to play better, they did, and I cost us this game. So I think Detroit's fine, and with the injuries for Green Bay, I think Minnesota, you got to watch out for them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Baker Mayfield got sacked 4 times by what's his face? He's a beast he's the guy from Michigan, your boy.
No, Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson is a beast. Sacked him 4 times, and Baker was, I mean, wasn't flinched. He held his poise. So good for him. Raiders beat Baltimore. Baltimore blows a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter to a bad Raiders football team.
Yeah.
This is another game that Baltimore blows in the fourth where Lamar Jackson can't keep drives going. He 3 and out,
Right.
punt the ball, 3 and out, punt the ball. Our defense better be really good today because I'm put in a bad position. I don't think people talk about that enough. They want to talk about his MVP and all that, but they don't talk about his.
That's what I just can't understand how he won the MVP. I mean, I understand he had a statistically okay season, but if you watch the game, if you watch this guy, he just isn't. He runs the ball, he throws it all over the field. He's not accurate. He's
Yeah.
not like I just don't.
I'm not a
I,
fan either. But uh, if you go back and watch those games they've blown in the fourth, it's exactly that. 3 and out, punt, punt, punt. Lamar can't move the ball. Lamar can't make the right throws. Can't move his team.
misses somebody that's wide open.
Can't eat some clock. They might have beat the Chiefs if he hits a guy in the back of the end zone wide open. Like things that just I don't overlook, and it's just a bad loss when you're, especially now you're 0-2 coming against the Dallas Cowboy team who may be turning around next week, but we'll see. That'll
Well,
be
I
a
mean,
pretty interesting
I
team
think
or
Dallas is
game to watch.
desperate. I think it's the desperation game. I think both teams are going to be extremely desperate. Dallas to get the taste out of their mouth of that egg that they laid, and the Ravens because they can't go 0-3 in that division. You know, aren't the Texans are in that division, right? So or no,
No, it's the
Cleveland.
Steelers, Cleveland, them,
Okay.
and the
Well, the
Bengals.
Steelers are 2-0.
The
So
Bengals.
well, and the Bengals are 0-2 too. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But
Yeah, the
talk about
refs helped out the
disappointment.
Chiefs on that one, but
Yeah.
Vikings beat the 49ers 23-17. This is a game I want. I in my gut I said the Vikings are going to win. I just felt it and I didn't pick them and they won. Unfortunately, Vikings are 2-0 at the top of my division. I don't know what happened to the 49ers here. They haven't won in Minnesota and like ages apparently.
A
They
lot of
have
injuries.
they have Debo Samuel's out, McCaffrey's out, so they've got the
Well, and
one running back.
it sounds like Samuel said he's going to miss a couple weeks, and now they're saying up to 6 to 8 weeks for McCaffrey. I mean, he's going to miss the Dallas game. He's not
Yeah.
going to be back till after their bye.
Another bullet point. Eagles choked the game away last night. They absolutely choked the game away. This is a game that was easy, that they should have won. They had it right there. Third down, and the Falcons have no timeouts. 3rd and 3, and you throw the ball, which a lot of people are giving you crap about. You should have ran the ball. But if Saquon Barkley catches that ball, it's first down. They can run out the clock. The game is over. He doesn't. They kick a field goal. Then they have the worst defense I've seen. They play prevent defense, but when a team has no timeouts, you take away the sidelines and you leave the middle of the field because then they're rushing. They threw the sideline all day on that, all freaking day on that drive. And one guy didn't go out of bounds, so they had to rush up. The next play was out of bounds, and they were doing this, they were doing that. And then you could have paid me Slay's paycheck last night because his defense on London for the last touchdown that cost he had him on skates, a simple out route. I'm gonna run right at you. I'm gonna turn right. That's all he did, and Slay was nowhere to be found. Kirk Cousins throws the ball, catches a touchdown, and they are scratching their head in Philly today, going, "What in the world just happened?"
Yeah, I just don't know why you wouldn't run the ball and then even if you take that play and run the ball and then take a delay a game, um, you still run more time off the clock than what you did. By throwing the pass, it's incomplete. It stops the clock, and it it gives Atlanta another minute and a half that they wouldn't have had if you'd have just ran the football.
Yeah,
And
they went down the field in a minute and 5 seconds on 6 plays, and they left like
yeah, but there's a
40.
minute and 5 seconds that they wouldn't have had.
Yeah, they left like 43 seconds for the Eagles to get in field goal range. Hurts throws an interception. Just terrible. Just terrible. That's a
Yeah,
game
I'm
you
not
should
a
have won.
Hurts fan. And he had one good season,
At,
and
at times, I'm like, okay, here you go. But then at times, he makes these boneheaded decisions. I'm going, my gosh, that was a terrible throw.
right.
He made it against Green Bay. He threw a pick late across the middle. We McKinley picked them off.
And I think Saquon's going to help them. He's been
Oh,
pretty good.
he's been
He,
lights out.
you know,
Except catching a ball on third down, wide
right.
open. Like,
And you get in those situations where your eyes get big and you're trying to go up the field before you have the ball. I mean, it
yeah,
happens to everybody, but I don't know. I just they're going to be tough, and I'm going to tell you right now that if Dallas looks the way that they do, they're gonna the Eagles will beat them, the Texans will beat them, the Lions will beat them. I mean, it'll be terrible.
yeah. What's up, Mark? Thanks for jumping on, bud. Um, yeah. Do you have what's another bullet point? You got another bullet point? Because I definitely have at least one more.
Well, I mean, look at the Cincinnati Bengals. This team is imploding on itself. You got Jamar Chase out there screaming at the ref. Burrow's trying to save him from a penalty in a clutch situation,
Terrible.
and he goes bonkers on Burrow, and deal. Then he goes on the sideline and melts down. Um, Mark my word, Jamar Chase is done as a Cincinnati Bengal after this
Yeah.
year. He's already said, "I'm not negotiating a contract. They promised me money, they didn't get it. I'm done." So
Yep.
he's going to probably demand a trade. Um, I just um, I don't understand what Cincinnati's doing. Everybody else pays their guys, pays their deal, but this team is imploding, and and it's going to end up costing a very good head coach who just is not too far removed from a Super Bowl his job probably because basically they're looking to be like they're quitting on him. He can't get 11 guys to play together.
Was
Now, in the long run, yes, a call that probably should have gone a different way that probably ends up giving Kansas City the opportunity for the game winning field goal, yes. But you can't rely on that. You've got to play better football,
yeah.
and
And
you can't
Patrick
be
Mahomes
out
didn't
there.
play that great that game either.
He didn't. He didn't play his best game. Kelsey wasn't involved hardly at all. I think he had one catch, um, and Pachenko breaks his leg. He's out 8 weeks. They go and sign Kareem Hunt today, and uh, try to repeat the magic they had with him, which everything they touch turns to gold. So I
Yeah.
assume Kareem Hunt is going to be he's going
Yeah.
to fall right in there and have 200 yards next year or next week. Um, but I just um,
Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining the show.
I just don't understand what these what's happened to this team. This team was Super Bowl, AFC Championship, and now all of a sudden they can't get out of their own way,
Well,
and it's very very alarming.
what's what's even bad about Jamar Chase is you put up all this, pay me the money. You go into week one against the Patriots and you lose what 17-10.
Right.
You,
And Jamar
I'm like,
Chase hasn't lit the world on fire.
yeah, I'm like, wait, you want me to pay you and we're still losing? Why would I pay you if we're
Well,
losing with you
I
on the
mean,
football team?
I get he's not
He's
he's
two
not
years
the reason
out.
they. I understand, and I get it, but that's I mean, really, it should be next year with when he really
Yeah,
should be with Lamb.
look
You
how
never
much they
want to
got.
go
Look at all the wide receivers. I think he saw all the wide receivers getting paid and said,
100%,
"Hey, what about
100%.
me?"
And
And
he's put up a couple really really good years.
yeah,
And except last year when he got hurt, he's put up two really good years, and I get it. I get it. These guys want the guaranteed financial freedom, but really, do you need 140 million? You won't like 90 do it? Like I don't understand the need for. You
yeah.
can't spend that much. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can, but
They're all overpaid if you ask me, but
oh,
it's the name of
absolutely,
the game. It's the
absolutely.
name of
But
the
it's
game.
that's what the NFL has allowed it to become. So
Yeah.
if work that where we work, like if they're
I
just gonna
wish.
say if they were just gonna say, hey, we're gonna give you $250,000 this year, I'm gonna go, oh no, not me. I don't deserve that. I deserve this. You know, no. If you start, I mean, every job you've ever been in, the minute you find out somebody that you think you're better than gets more money, you're in there going, hey, I'm better than that dude.
I'm better than that, dude. What the hell?
I deserve that. This guy over here, I'm carrying that dude's weight. And that's exactly what Chase is saying. I am better than, he believes he's better than Lamb. He believes he's better than Amon Ra. He believes he's better than all these guys that got paid. He believes he's better than the guy in San Francisco, which that guy didn't. I
He's
mean,
better than Ayuk, definitely.
at 100%. And
But
and
I think what hurts Chase is the inconsistency of Burrow's health, definitely.
right,
So
100%.
I
Because
think that's also
because in
frustrating him as
Cincinnati, can
well.
you even name the backup? No, you can't.
No.
Not without going to the Google and looking it up. Because and so yeah, I mean,
What's up, Derpy? Thanks for joining the show. He said he wanted to flex and say that the Steelers are better than the Eagles. Confirmed. I don't believe they are. Do they start? My question to you, Derpy, are you going to take away Fields now that you're 2-0 and put in Russell Wilson when he's healthy because you're winning right now? I don't. That's tough. I think they're both bad
you ain't
quarterbacks, but that's
you ain't winning. You ain't winning because of Justin Fields. Let me
you
promise
ain't.
you
It's
that.
your defense, yes, and you also play Bo Nix,
Yeah.
so that's
That,
also something we
sorry,
got to
Jeff.
talk about next time Jeff's on the show. We could talk
Yeah.
about that because he hasn't looked absolutely terrible, but he's not looking all that great right now either.
Not looking great.
But he's played two great
Speaking of
defenses, so.
speaking of not looking great.
Bearski Films, where are you at, buddy?
Where you at?
Oh,
Should have painted my fingernails.
Films is confirmed. Fields is confirmed to be the starter. Interesting. Okay, he is younger. Um, can't win when they ain't cheating. Who is he? Who are you talking about, Ryan? The
No clue.
Patriots or
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
the
All right.
Astros?
Yeah.
Or I don't know who we're talking about here, Ryan. Be
I
more
don't
specific,
know.
bud. But thanks for joining the show. Yes, Caleb Williams. Now, against Houston, that offensive line was a turnstile. My gosh.
It's
He
always
got
it.
oh, he said Michigan.
Well,
Oh.
that's fair.
Whew. Ouch. Wow, that's a burn there, Craig.
Lose 14 starters.
But he's been telling me he can't wait to get on and make fun of Michigan for losing so
That's
bad.
fine.
But now you threw me off my train of thought, Ryan. That's funny though.
They've already benched their quarterback.
Caleb Williams is not looking good. The plays that he had time in the pocket, he missed guys. His wide receivers are going, where was that at? He made a play where he ran around, broke a tackle, and then threw it into a triple coverage and got picked off. I'm like, what did you like? Throw the ball away? Say, I don't know. It's not looking good for Chicago. Their defense looks good. Don't get me wrong, their defense is
Yeah.
good, but on the offensive side of the ball, it's not looking too good right now for you.
No.
So
And like I said,
I'm loving it. But
the biggest jump from any sport is from college football to pro football. On any given Saturday, you have one all pro running around out there. Well, guess what? On Sunday, you got 11 of them. And the worst guy in the NFL is the best guy you'll face in college. And when you don't have what I've said all along, Caleb Williams has no work ethic. He will not put the time in to become better. He has all the talent in the world. Don't ever 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 get me sideways, and then I think that this guy is overrated from a talent standpoint. He's not, but he's arrogant, and he thinks he's entitled, and he thinks he's owed the world. I mean, when somebody asks him about, hey, they're retiring your jersey in USC, what does that mean to you? He's like, they owe that to me after everything I did for them. Huh, they should be happy that I was there. And I'm like, is this? Please tell me this is one of the voiceovers of the things that you see on social media all the time. Please tell me that's this because you literally can't think that. There's zero chance that you can believe that you're the greatest thing in the world and need stock options and that you want a 2 year deal instead of a 5 year deal because you want to cash in. To me, Brian, it is almost like this guy doesn't care about football. He just wants to hit the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and go off into the sunset and not play football anymore. He just wants the money, and that's what this is acting like. And
The guy
uh,
did nothing for USC.
no,
I mean, what are we talking about
he
here?
laid the
And
bed every time they had a big game. That's what he
yeah.
did for him. I don't even think they never even made the playoff when he was there.
Look, I was being a Packers fan. Obviously, you see my cup all night long. If you've seen the podcast or know me, you know I'm a Packers fan. So I hope this guy's a bust. Am I going to sit here and say he's a bust already? No, but it hasn't looked great. It hasn't looked good. He played okay in college football. He didn't take his team to anywhere special or go play against the big dogs and win these tough hard games. He didn't do so. For them to retire his jersey is laughable. Um, the
For him
Bears,
to
like I
think
said,
that he's entitled to it,
yeah,
you know,
the Bears defense looked good. The offensive
they
line
look
has
good two
not.
weeks in a row.
The quarterback has not looked good. His first week game was absolutely terrible.
Rome Meduze has looked terrible.
Yeah, he's coming off of a scare. What could have been a bad injury. The pass last night to keep the game going was way off. I don't know if
The
Adunze was on
Craig
the right,
fantasy football jinx
like
extends.
just terrible. So, um, I like it. I like it. I'm loving it. Bearski Films no longer on the show, but he's a guy I went on his show last week, and he's been on a show on Saturday. And you should have heard the meltdown on their podcast. I've jumped on their podcast, not on the show, but I was like listening to, and they were saying that the eye test says they're the Carolina Panthers. I'm going, man, then I wouldn't pitch it down that low, but come on. It sounded like the Eagles do when they lose a football game. I was like, all right, guys, like, I don't think you're that terrible. You're not good, but you're not at the Carolina Panthers, but whatever.
Carolina Panthers had 9 people in the football stadium.
Well, I wanted to say this for Saturday, my next bullet point here, but since the breaking news hit today, Tua's concussion, Thursday night football, the Bills dominated him. Um, he made his dumb football decision, didn't slide like he should have. Well, today they placed him on a 4-game IR. He's on the injury reserve, which means he will play. He won't play for 4 games. 4 games. What if it's
Well, that's just minimum.
really?
It's minimum 4 games. It can be longer.
No,
It's
I
just like
know.
the
I
same
know.
thing that McCaffrey's on.
But 4 games for a concussion, if it's taking this guy 4 weeks over this one concussion, then this guy throw in the white flag.
But
Let's
when
stop.
it's
Let's
not
stop
one
playing football.
concussion though. This is his third one inside of
It's
18
I
months.
know, but it's the first. It's the first one this season. He had two last year. Is the third one. I get it, but he had all off season. He didn't go with concussion.
But
One
it's not
concussion. You're gonna miss 4 games.
okay. But it's not. It's not like he got up and hopped off the field and he's like, I might be concussed. The dude's arm extended involuntarily. He was
I
out
know.
for it.
I watched the game. I saw a
Okay,
hit.
he was out
Yes.
for it. It wasn't as bad as the last time where they had to stretch him off, but that's what it's going to come to, Brian. Is this guy going to get hit? A one of the top neuroscientists in the world has came out and said you need to take a year off and heal, or else you're going to die. and you're going to have a Damar Hamlin sequel on the football field if this kid doesn't learn how to protect himself.
Do we think the NFL
And
stepped in and said,
I, I,
"Hey,
I think somebody stepped in and said he ain't playing for a while. And why of all the people, why the hell is he not wearing the Guardian cap?
all right"?
Why is he not wearing a Guardian cap?
Ryan said that's my point. If it's going to take 4 games for a concussion, at least 4 games minimum, then that's not normal. That is someone
3 concussions in 18 months is not normal.
someone needs to get
Two
this
of
guy.
which you almost died on the field. You had involuntarily body movement. You looked crippled. They had to wake you back up. Like that's not normal.
Someone's got to get this guy and
This
say,
is like a UFC fighter who's had his chin like Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell took punches for years and ate them, every single one of them, and won a million fights. And all of a sudden, he got knocked out once, and basically every time you blew on him from that point forward, he would be knocked out. And Tua's switch has been flipped, and
Now-
he needs to find a way to unswitch it, or he needs to be the quarterback coach or something. Because
now
I'm telling you,
I came on, did a short saying that this is his decision. It's a medical decision. If he's been cleared to play, then so be it. But I saw this news: 4 games, guys. Like that is crazy to me. Crazy.
I fully expected it.
Now, this is something too. I forget who commented it, but they were replying back to my short. We were kind of having a conversation that if he continues to play, the NFL will probably have him sign something that says, if you continue to play, we are not liable and you cannot sue me for your whatever your world looks like after football. Because now that concussions and everything that they're taking seriously,
do that because you would have to do it with everybody. You can't just be like, well, Tua, we're not gonna pay you. We'll pay everybody else. We're not gonna pay you.
Well, I'm just saying with him, with his decision of, hey, I'm playing no matter what, and I get it. I had a short on this and about this is a tough decision because this guy has worked his butt off all his life to be where he's at, and just to say I got to give it up because of my concussions, that's difficult. You're leaving a lot of money on the table.
No, you ain't leaving none of it on
depending.
the table.
Well, it depends.
It's all guaranteed.
I mean, no, I talked about the numbers the other day. If he retires from football, he will lose. I think it's like 40 or 50 something million. But if a doctor, if he leaves, under a doctor saying you're no longer allowed to play football and we're meant like he's never cleared and has to retire, then he will get his entire paycheck. But they were talking on the radio the other day.
Well, that wouldn't be hard.
That wouldn't be hard to find a doctor to say, hey, yeah, let's. No. But I'm just saying, and also, I don't know, 4 games is a lot for a concussion. If he's really not to the point where he can play with him before 4 weeks,
I don't think
that's crazy.
I don't think it has anything to do with whether he can play Sunday. I think he can play Sunday. I think the 4 weeks is to try to give the brain some time to reset so it doesn't happen again. What happened when he did turn around and he had it on Sunday and then he turned around and played Thursday? What happened? He left on a stretcher. He needs some
He's
time.
Also got to be smarter with his football play.
I 100%
Stupid.
agree.
That was a dumb decision.
Yeah, when you spear the guy, I mean, Hamlin did nothing.
Yeah. Hamlin did nothing except kind of like basically catch him in his midsection.
But he led with the crown of his helmet and speared him, and down he went.
Absolute dumb.
But like I said, the button has been flipped, and anytime he's going to hit the crown of his helmet, whether it's here or whether it's the back, when his head snaps and hits the ground. But that's what I'm saying. Why is somebody not going, hey, you've had several concussions. Why aren't you wearing one of these Guardian caps? I don't care what it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't care if it looks cool. this could
100%.
this could save Tua's career.
Yeah.
You can play, wear the guardian cap, reduce the amount of stress that's on your brain, and still play football. Like, I don't understand. I mean, it seems too simple to me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, uh, those are your bullet points for week 2. Let's get into the power rankings, Craig. Mine have completely switched up,
Oh,
all up and down the board. I tried it, and I told Ryan, I said, I picked the Cowboys in the top 5 last week, and you
probably
absolutely
your fault.
let me down. So,
Probably your
um,
fault.
top 5 power rankings. Number 1, I got Kansas City. I don't think you can take them off. They beat the Bengals, who were
It
supposed to
didn't
be
look
a good
great,
team.
but
Didn't look great
until
until you lose.
somebody, yeah,
Can't really knock them down for winning football games.
yeah.
Number 2, I have the Bucks. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. All right, they beat the Lions, who I've always had my top 5 so far this year. Before the season too, they went in and beat Detroit in Detroit. Baker Mayfield didn't care if he got sacked 80 billion times or whatever. He was came to play and came to win, and um, that they were able to get the job done against the Lions. And they played Washington week 1, and Baker balled out there too. So I got the Bucks at number 2. Craig, who do you got?
I got the Houston Texans. They've looked really good. You can't fault them for who they're playing. You know, I mean, the Bears have got a good defense. They've looked really good. They struggled a little bit out of the gate.
They didn't
Um,
play good against. They didn't play too good against the Colts. That was my
that's what I'm saying.
concern.
They did. They struggled a little bit out of the gate, but ultimately started to turn it on in the second half. Played really good last night. Nico Collins has been an absolute beast.
Beast.
Um,
I think Tank Dell's still getting used to his injury, like running back on his leg. He seems they've
right.
been using him in some jet sweeps and stuff, but
Yeah.
not really the deep threat he was last
No.
year so far.
No.
So far.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that.
So
That's my fantasy football team feels every bit of Tank Dell not getting used. Um, I had 3 choices of wide receiver from the Houston Texans, and I picked the low one of the group. But no, I just think that their defense. I'm a huge D'Amico Ryan fan. He's come into that and just made a absolute talk about turning a team around in a fast sense. D'Amico Ryan has answered that bell. So I have the Houston Texans.
I got the New Orleans Saints at number 3. Now, week 1 they played the Panthers, and so we've been making fun of the Panthers and saying that they're a high school football team. But they came in, they dominated that game. They dominated the Cowboys in Arlington, which most people don't win a lot of football games there unless you're the Green Bay Packers.
Dallas is 16 and
Um,
one in the last, or 15 and one in the last 2 seasons.
and unless you're the Packers or apparently the Saints, you don't win there a lot. So I got the Saints here. Are they for real? We're gonna find out. See how long the season goes and where they're at. But they Derek Carr looks like so far he's kind of resurrected his career here. It's kind of his last stop, I think. Anyways, they have a lot of motion. They confuse defenses, and Kamara looks like he's a good running back again. All of a sudden, so they got a
They got
Olave. I
some.
mean, they're
They
playing
got
good
some real
defense.
speed out
Yeah,
on Raheed Shaheed and Chris Olave. They've got some really good speed on the wide receivers.
they look real good.
I got the same team. Yeah, anytime you do something that Patrick Mahomes has never done, that to me is probably worth kind of taking an eye to. 14 straight drives they've scored to start a season, and I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. Uh, so
They
been a absolute incredible show of offense and show of with a new coordinator for him to come in and flip this thing around so quickly. Normally
yeah
it takes a year or two, but apparently
with
Carr likes it.
yeah. Um, I got the Buffalo Bills at number 4. This is a team that I thought, and they still could happen, implode this season. They Josh Allen says, I'm not losing to the Cardinals. Scores 4 touchdowns. They absolutely dominate Miami. They have Miami's number. They beat them like the 14 out of the last 16 games against them. Dominated Miami.
They came and snuck the division away from them last year in the
last
game of the season,
So the Buffalo Bills, they're playing good offensively. Josh Allen, maybe without Diggs there, he looks like he's playing more freely. I don't got to force the ball to this guy. I don't have a guy that's going to be in my ear blowing up the sideline with his toxicity. I can spread the ball around, and it looks like he's playing a little bit looser. So far, the Bills have looked pretty good.
Yeah, I had the Bills here as well. We really hammered Josh Allen, and yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
You got the Bills there too?
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. Because we sat here and said that he lost all his wide receivers, and had nobody to throw the ball to, and they were going to blow the team up, and this guy was going to be out of a job. I mean, we went scorched earth on Buffalo in the preseason, and they've come out and won 2 games.
We might have an apology tour.
We might have to run the apology bus right through Buffalo instead of Kansas City this year. Absolutely.
At number 5, I had the Lions. They did lose the Bucs. The Bucs are a good football team. I think they're better than some of the other teams that are 2-0 right now. So I got the Lions still there. I had them at number 3 last week. I moved them down 2 spots. I still think they're overall a well-balanced football team, and they play all aspects of the game pretty good if they can get their coach to stop being overly aggressive sometimes.
Riverboat Ron Jr., calm it down.
But who do you got there, number 5?
I got Tampa. I still just need to see a little bit more. I like what I've seen from Baker. I like what I've seen from the head coach. I like I said, Evans and Godwin and all these guys are on the same page. They seem to have a really good running attack, but I just need to see a little bit more consistency from to see if Baker can really put these guys on their back and drag them into somewhere tough. And I mean, even though playing in Detroit's pretty as tough as it gets, I mean, Aiden Hutchinson sacked you 4 times and you still get up and stick it to them. That's a big win for them. They haven't beat Detroit in a long time, and but yeah, they could change again.
All right, Ryan. Here we go. Ryan wants to talk about. This thing's been on delay today. It's really making me mad. Can we talk about the Eagles locker room being done? No coach spoke to the post game after the loss. You're telling me not one of the coaches went in there and talked to the team after they lost? That's a problem. That's a big problem.
Well, I mean, if we go back and go into the analogs over here, I call this in the preseason. I said that he lost them last year after they went 8-0 and then all of a sudden into the tank like Shamu. That I said he lost that locker room last year.
Ryan's been saying the same thing. It's just
and Hurts has lost the team, and so is Sirianni. They don't want to play for Hurts. They think Hurts is an absolute prima donna. He's not a leader. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely, that locker room has imploded, and Sirianni has lost it.
And it's interesting to me because they came out on the offseason that Sirianni and Hurts don't get along at all, apparently.
Well, there was a rumor last year that Jalen Hurts got knocked out in the tunnel before a game by one of the wide receivers.
That's crazy.
Not cold.
If you're a head coach, and you're number one leader, which the quarterback's the number one leader of the football team, isn't getting along, it's not going to last. Period. It's not going to last. And Sirianni will get the head coach will.
Yeah.
They're
$2 millions always win.
2-7 in the last 9 games. Ryan says here. I don't know why it's not showing up. They should have lost the Packers. We should. They should have lost the Packers.
Right.
I've never seen a team like I talked about this a little bit ago too. They won the Super Bowl and they fired their coach like a year later. They imploded so fast there in Philly after beating Tom Brady and the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
No, it's not.
They go through what
It's
was
not exactly. It's not
like.
exactly. Like Doug Peterson's over there in Jacksonville tearing it up though.
Well, I'm just saying. Usually a Super Bowl gets you at least 3 years, at least.
No.
And they imploded after that. You get Sirianni in here, who I don't know where he came from, who this guy is, what his qualifications.
He came from. He came. He's just a random Philly fan, I think. The way
And
he
yeah,
acts,
that's what he looks like. After
some
8-0,
guy at the vet.
after 8-0 last year, they imploded. And you're having problems with your quarterback. This isn't going to last too long. And this is a team that's a good football team, has talent out the wazoo, and they've just got to find a head coach, it looks like, because something's not right.
No.
Something is not right. Philly fan base is the most toxic. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he was Indianapolis' offensive coordinator. Well, there you go. Indy's never had a good offense.
Any fan base that throws batteries at Santa is toxic, I think is the way to describe it.
Yeah, the Philly fans are terrible. I do hope, though, that the Philadelphia Phillies win the World Series because I really like Bryce Harper and the baseball team. I hope they win it all.
Fast, but
Hurts A&M. Hurts is better than I thought he was going to be, but he makes some boneheaded plays and decisions, and I'm going, what was that throw?
Yeah, same.
But this team's too talented to not be good. It just can they get past themselves to put it together? And that if your quarterback's getting beaten up in the tunnel before the game, and your head last night Sirianni took off his headphone and he's screaming at Hurts on the field, just screaming it. I'm going, what is this?
There's going to be a
crazy
fight either between them two or him and another coach before the year's over. He is just a hothead. He is just an absolute, hothead.
Yeah. And that's absolutely crazy to me. If your team loses like they did, your coach should come and talk to you after every game, win or loss. And you tell me one coach, not a single coach, went in there and said, "Hey guys, look, whatever, give him a little pep talk, whatever." It's crazy.
I like to hear it.
Crazy. All right, guys, I got an announcement for you. If you've listened to our podcast show on through any other podcast platform, Buzzsprout being on there, Apple, any of that, just let you know this is the last show that'll be on there. We are getting rid of a Buzzsprout. We are going strictly to YouTube podcasts. So if you want to listen to the podcast form of the show, it'll be on YouTube podcasts. We also have the video edition on there as well with our YouTube channel. So I'm giving that announcement to kind of give you a heads up. We're going to make that transition over and stop paying for Buzzsprout. So we're going to focus mainly on YouTube. Our video will be out everywhere, though. You can still find us on Facebook and everything else like that, TikTok and Facebook Shorts and everything else. But the podcast strictly, just audio, will just be on YouTube. YouTube podcast, or if you have YouTube Music, you can find it on there as well. Just want to make that announcement so you guys aren't blindsided when we no longer on other platforms for the podcast. Did I say podcast enough there, Craig? I think it did.
Yeah, covered
it. All right, guys. Well, it's about that time. We asked the question, Craig, here before we get off. What's in your locker, bud?
Might have a weekend off. Still
he said might.
There. Yeah, still not here yet. So, really the only thing that I would have would be going to fill some deer feeders to get ready for the first
Bambi
of October.
Season.
Yeah, I'm gonna feed Bambi and fatten him up so it can go in the freezer. or on my wall at work like the other two. Um,
Nice.
so, but yeah, no, just interested to see if Michigan making the quarterback change helps at all. I'm not a big fan of Alex Orgy, but
The other guy hasn't been it.
no,
He's been terrible.
no,
Absolutely terrible.
he threw 14 passes and all of them were caught. Three of them were caught by the other team, but I mean they were all caught.
Hey,
Um,
100% passer rating or
yeah,
our completion percentage.
yeah, 100% completion. So um, I don't know how you knew that that McCarthy was leaving and didn't have a better answer than Davis Warren and Alex Orgy. I mean, and Orgy only plays when basically he's kind of like the Taysom Hill. When he's back in there, you know it's going to be a quarterback run. Um,
Yeah.
but because his accuracy is worse than Warren, but I don't know. We'll see. You got some really tough games coming up in Penn State and Ohio State and Michigan State and the Big Ten is now Oregon. So
They haven't looked very good
USC.
this year.
So I mean that schedule's brutal. So, but hey, on the plus side, you're not Florida State, who's 0-3, and how that guy still has a job, I'll never know. What about you, Brian? What's in your locker?
Yeah, Ryan says, "Hey, Texas has two starters. They don't know which one they want to start as a quarterback. That's a good problem to have there, Ryan. Because Arch Manning he looks like
The,
him.
the guy that doesn't
Oh,
have an injury.
he looks like you should bench Ewers yesterday and play
Well,
this guy.
I'll tell you
Absolutely
right now,
insane.
he's the fastest one in his family. You ain't never seen uh,
He
Peyton
out,
or Eli run like that.
he outran Tyreek Hill's top speed. You see that?
No, I mean I know he took off. I
They
mean he's
said the top
shaking Meg.
speed for Tyreek Hill was like and he was faster than. I was like, there's no way.
No,
That's insane.
yeah.
That's crazy.
You better calibrate that gun. Cause
Yeah, he didn't look that fast, but my gosh,
no.
I'm just like teams are going to start tanking for Manning. When is he coming out, Brian? Like 2 or 3 years from now? Like I don't know.
Well, they did redshirt him, so I mean he
Yeah,
could last, but he won't. I mean, I don't know. Do you want to compete with Shadir Sanders? Because he could come out this year if you do.
sure. Sanders is not going to be good.
I understand that, but I'm just saying they're
Yeah,
going to speak that
no.
into. It's going to be. It's going to be the old never lost. Draft. I mean, he's going to speak it right into existence.
I'm going to yeah, I'm tank for Manning. I'm telling you what, this kid's it. All right,
Green
what's in my
Bay for
lock?
the Green Bay for the eighth time.
Yeah, yeah,
Quarterback gold.
yeah. We're gonna get 4 in a row, baby. Let's
Yeah,
go. I'm hoping he plays this week. They said he almost played against the Colts, so we'll see.
I'm telling you.
I'm hoping that's what's in my locker. All my hope in my locker goes towards that Jordan Love plays this week.
Why?
We we're not gonna win without him. That's why our
You said
season's
that last
done
week.
without him.
You said that last week, and you beat the
Malik.
Colts.
So for all you Packer fans are going, we need to let Malik throw the ball more. No, we don't. He can't
Who
throw the ball that well.
who do you play
That's
this week?
why
Like the Bears? I mean,
we let him we ran the ball because Malik, if he throws the ball, will ruin the game. He will lose you the game. Matt LaFleur played it perfectly. We were able to run the ball down their throats, and we won the football game. Okay, so let's relax. We'll let Malik cook because he's not going to be cooking much. Um, look, I just hope our season. When we lost our quarterback, I was like, man, hopefully the season isn't over. So I want him back. I want to
it
see if
will be
he's.
if he it will be if he shreds the knee because he came back too soon.
Yeah, I guess. Well, throw throw
So
a throw a brace on it, and he'll be all right. Um, not much for
remember
me.
the I told you so podcast where he
Yeah.
shreds his knee.
Well, hell, quit drafting him and freaking
Yeah, yeah.
quit drafting
He's
my
still on the
guys.
team. He's still on the team. That's why.
Oh gosh, we might as well just send him for next year. Um, All right, my locker. It's basically been work. Friday was one heck of a crazy day last week. Monday was a little bit hectic, but slowed down today, and tomorrow's my easy day, so that's good. Just
What's this? What's that word you said? Easy day. What's
easy
that?
day. Yeah, you don't get those over there at your job.
Soon. Starting next week.
Soon.
Starting next
Um,
week.
I can't tell you the last time I drove
We've
a front
canceled.
load truck.
We've canceled all vacations.
I can't tell you. You cancel all vacations.
Yeah, as vetoed. Everybody's out of vacation time, so sorry about your bad
Nice.
luck.
Sorry about your luck. I can't tell you the last time I drove a front load truck. Went crazy. Anyways,
about 6 hours ago.
hey, you'll be up in 6 hours. You'll do all
Yeah, and
over again tomorrow.
I'll be up in 3.5 hours to go do it again.
Not much. Just with the podcast, doing these shorts, trying to get more stuff out there for our listeners and the show and our podcast. So my wife, I really like my schedule right now. I'm able to watch all the football games. My wife's not too keen on that, but it is what it is. I like it a lot. I'm trying to think. We took the kids to Urban Air over the weekend, hung out with them, and that's pretty much it. Getting my kid Darla, my oldest, she loves band, so she's coming home every day and showing me what she's learned, and she loves band. I know.
Up.
It's expensive too, isn't it?
Buckle up.
Yeah. Buckle up that wallet. Um, I don't know. I'm looking for
What'd she play?
the clarinet right now.
Oh, see, if you said trumpet, I could have hooked you
up. Well, we got the clarinet for free too, so we lucked out.
Everything you touch turns to gold, Brian.
We lucked out. We lucked out. God was good on that one. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for me. Come join us on Saturday. We're going to recap, or we're going to talk about our predictions for week 3, and then we're going to give the headlines of the week. We got a couple we didn't even hit today, but I got to talk. We got to talk about Jeff, about Bo Nix. We got to talk about the Tua situation with him as well. I want to go through that again, and then some other things that came down, and any other headlines that hit this week. We'll talk about that. We'll give you our predictions for week 3, and talk about what we're doing this weekend. All right, guys, that's the show. God bless, and remember to keep it outspoken.